Press conference of Max Allegri, Genoa, Juventus, before taking the train and traveling to Genoa for the game of tomorrow. What did he say, our dear Massimiliano? Well, he spoke about a lot of things, diverting things, interesting things, but also about controversial things. Yes, he spoke about controversial things. One thing in particular, where all the social world were speaking about, he said, in this team, now, the team of 23-24, there are no Primadonna anymore. What is a Primadonna? A first lady, a VIP, a star that is walking around and thinking about himself more than about the other ones. Who is he referring to? Who is he speaking about? We'll try to understand that in a second. Then he spoke also about the fact that Yildiz will play. He will get his chances. He will get his minutes already tomorrow. I think yes. We'll speak about that. And then, of course, you can feel it. How he speaks, how he's behaving, how he's speaking about the team of Gilardino, that he's a bit worried about the game of tomorrow against Genoa. And then you will tell me, Beppe, what are you speaking about? We're playing against Neopromossa, against a team that is just promoted from second division. If we want to win the Scudetto, if we want to compete, we have to go with eyes closed, with whatever, and we have to win against Genoa, which I agree with, and you're totally correct. But pay attention, Genoa is always difficult for Juve. Historically, it's difficult, but also because the stadium, everything. We'll speak about Genoa in a second, so let's start step by step. Oh, by the way, my name is Giuseppe. Welcome back on the channel, Forza Juve. You know it. You know it, Maximo of like. Don't forget to subscribe, because now we start with the first thing about who will be there and who will not be there. The call-up list, the squad list is already public. You can go, you can see. The player that is there, and luckily, is Adrien Rabiot. Were we doubting that he would not be there? He had a small problem at his feet because of a knock after Napoli. The 2 first days of training session, he trained isolated apart, but we know it since yesterday's training with the team, so we were never really doubting. You know, when they are making the tickets to travel, and now it was with the train to Genoa, because it's not that far from Torino. Well, the first ticket that they are doing is Adrien Rabiot. You know it. Adrien Rabiot, and then all the other ones. And that's also probably how will we make that lineup tomorrow. First, you put Rabiot, and then you put all the 10 other ones. So Adrien Rabiot will be there. It's a good news, because we know it. In the midfield, we are missing a few players, and I tell it, and I repeat it, until the end of January, when Mercato will be closed. I will always speak about the fact that, unfortunately, not because of Juve, we are missing 2 important players there in the midfield. So more we have, more I'm relaxed, more I'm happy. But then the big surprise, because if Rabiot was not a surprise, Kean is a surprise. Why? Because he has still that problem at the tibia that is taking with him since a few weeks now. You remember in the national Italian team where he didn't train with the team in the first part. He didn't play that first game. He was not even called up. He was in the stands before starting to train regularly again. And then he was there on the bench. He played, I believe, 11 minutes. Well, Kean has that problem that is persistent. And now they took the decision to take him out of the team 3 or 4 weeks. It's a lot, 3 or 4 weeks is a lot. Let me just open. It's something that usually I always prepare. This time I didn't prepare at all. Let me open the games that we will play in 3-4 weeks. So after Napoli, we play Genoa, Frosinone, Roma, 3 games for sure. Well, Kean will not be there. Then you have the Coppa Italia, and then you have Salernitana. So if it's 4 weeks, it's missing between 4 and 5 games. Why am I counting all these kind of games? Because everyone is at disposal. By the way, Weah is back, and I believe that tomorrow Weah will have some minutes in second half. Probably Cambiaso on the right, Kostic on the left. Second half, Cambiaso will go back on the left. Second half, 60th minute, 65th minute, with Weah on the right side. But that's something that I'm saying, not what Max Allegri said. But why am I speaking about these things? Because the fact that Kean is not there, it's now the huge opportunity for Kenan Yildiz to play with Juventus. Because there was the question, what about Yildiz? And he said he will get his chance. He's growing like all the other ones. And he will have, from now on, also more space, because Moise is not there. So he will be there. And if we know, and if we look back on all the last games where Dusan and Fede were starting on top of the attack, you know that at a certain moment of the game, depending which one, both of them, sometimes even simultaneously, they are subbed out. And every single time, these players are going out of the field. And most of the time, it's Moise and Arcadius that are coming in. So tomorrow, I think, I'm nearly convinced of it, that Yildiz will play. How many minutes will it be? 10, 15, 20? I have no idea. But tomorrow, there is a big chance. And then, don't forget, the other games. An important one at home against Roma, twice against Salernitana, even in Coppa Italia. I think that now it's a chance for Kenan, that apparently, according to some papers who are saying, I want to leave, I am frustrated, I'm not playing enough. Well, sometimes you just have to wait your moment. Like last year, Fagioli was waiting his moment. But of course, when you receive these chances, when you are at Juventus, you need to prove. You don't have like 1, 2, 3 chance. No, you have to play, you play. And you show why you were frustrated. You make sure that you are changing mind of the coach, that not only you are the fifth choice, but you can eventually be a rotational player there for every single game. Or maybe, who knows, why not, a starter. So now it's up to Yildiz, but it's not over, because he spoke also about the fact that Chiesa and Vlahovic, at the moment, what he is asking more than the goals is that they continue to do their work, because at the moment he's really happy about, especially technically, how they are playing, especially Dusan. So I'm sure that tomorrow Dusan will start the game. He said he's better, also physically and mentally. We must continue to have the same behavior as we had until today. The strikers are running a lot, they are pressing a lot, and this helps us as well to defend as a team. And that's also why a lot of time these strikers are subbed out, because they are giving so much. The dirty work, we call it, not the one that are going on the first pages, but the dirty shadow work that we don't always see immediately, especially when we are watching from television, and then they are exhausted towards the 75th and they are going out. So tomorrow, Yildiz could potentially play. What about his personal objective? He said, my personal objectives at the moment, they don't matter. What really matter is the team objective. We have 4 games to go before finishing the first round of Serie A, and then we will do our evaluation. Why? Or what came into my mind when he said that he's consequent with what he said in the beginning of the year. He said our first big stop in the calendar is the last game of the 19 that we play against Salernitana, December. That it will be in January, the 7th of January, but who cares? That will be the very first time that we will evaluate. Why? Because all the teams that are playing European competition, they would have played their game. We will know who will continue, who not. Luckily, the 4 teams that qualify there for the top, 3 of them continue in Champions League. Milan, even more difficult because they are playing in Europa League. Let's see what Roma, Atalanta, Fiorentina will do to understand what will happen with these teams, and so that we can continue to build and to put another cross in our calendar, probably February, then March, then April. Let's see. And then he spoke about some controversial thing, because he said, am I positively surprised about something in particular? He said, no, I was really curious of what we would be able to do, and now I'm even more curious to see what we will be able to achieve. We only played 15 games at the moment, 36 points. At the moment, that means totally nothing. So we have to do much better. We didn't do anything. That's what he's saying. At the moment, don't start to fly, to say we are the best. Calma. At the moment, we did nothing. We will see what we will be able to do. The best thing of this team is that we became really quickly a team. And the availability that these guys have for each other, supporting, helping, uniti. There is no Primadonna anymore that is putting individual objectives over team objectives. This is fantastic benefit for us, and we must continue that way. I told you there were some controversial part in today's press conference. What is he speaking about? There are no Primadonna anymore. I don't know who is he speaking about. Bonucci? Cuadrado? Di Maria? Paredes? Let me know in the comment who you think he's referring to. My personal idea, Beppe, Bonucci, Di Maria. Because we know it, when he's saying, we don't have players that are putting own interest before team interest. You remember how Di Maria managed himself for the World Cup? You remember how he managed himself for the World Cup? And Bonucci, not always happy. You know what happened in the summer. You know how bad Bonucci is speaking about the relation that he has with Allegri without mentioning him. That's a controversial take. So let me know what you think. But of course, when you are watching, especially the images of DAZN that are filming for the entirety of the game, the sideline, when you're watching how much they are suffering together for the game, they are celebrating together, you see the faces and so on, you see that there is a huge improvement with all of us. Then he spoke about Miretti as well. He said it was a technical choice, so it's not because he injured or not, but it's true that he's also feeling better physically, and now it will be an extra solution for us. Is it time tomorrow for Miretti? It could be. It could be that tomorrow Miretti will play a game. Of course, it depends also how the game is going. He spoke about the fact that the Inter is favorite. Zhang, president of Inter, said it publicly. They go for the second star. He said, we are in a new journey. We are working for it. At the moment, I'm really satisfied of what I'm seeing. Step by step, the league is really long. We must think about ourselves. So we have to think about ourselves, continue to work hard, and not be satisfied about what we are doing. So that's also important, the message that he's sending, and that probably not a lot of people have caught. We don't have to be satisfied. Remember? Minimal objective for minimal. We don't have to be satisfied. That says a lot. That says really a lot. He said that in the summer, probably it would have been difficult to think about a ranking like this one. We started being really aware about our weaknesses and we were able to limit them. But let's keep our feet on the ground because one bad result can change all the perspective. And that's something that is repeating week in, week out, week in, week out. You know, at the moment we are there at -2 and everyone is praising Juve, whatever, except of course of the Allegri out, but that will never change. Even if we win the Scudetto, they will still not be satisfied. But except of these people, you see that a lot of people are praising the work of Juve, not the men only, but the work of Juve. But he said it, we lose against Genoa. Inter is winning, and it's already over. It is over already with Mamma Mia, beautiful. You remember in the beginning of the season, it's Milan that is the anti-Inter, it's Napoli that is the anti-Inter, it's Milan-Napoli, it's Juve, it's not Juve. You remember, it changed from week to week, the perception from the outside world. So something that we have to pay attention for. A nice question. You are the coach that has the most 1-0, and if you win one more time 1-0, you will be the coach in Italy, I believe, that has the most 1-0 in activity, that is still active in the coach. Is it your favorite result? He said, no, it is not. I was expecting probably a yes. He said, no, the best one would be 3-0, because we would suffer less. So that was really nice when he said that. I hope that we can do this kind of 3-0 so that all of us are suffering a bit less. Then, and that's important, and that's a bit the same thing as I am saying, he's saying, but if you win 1-0, at the end, it's okay. I take it. Why? Because the important thing are the 3 points. That being said, Genoa at home is always difficult. I remember one time we traveled there, we were not even entering the field that we were already losing 3-0 after 20 minutes. At the end, we lost that game 3-1. So he knows how important that game of Genoa is. He knows how difficult that game is against some ex-players like De Winter, Dragoshin, Gilardino, that is the upcoming coach that wants to do really well. They lost the last game, so they want to take revenge. In their home, they are doing much better than away. So a lot of hidden difficulties in that game. We have to really pay attention. And then he spoke about the fact that Serie A is really competitive, even more than last year, especially with the second part of the ranking, from the 9th position until the 20th, because these teams, if you accumulate the points, they are doing much better than last year. So every team is dangerous and difficult to beat in Serie A, which is correct. We lost against Sassuolo. Inter lost against Sassuolo. We drew against Bologna, that at the moment is 5th. Inter, they drew against Bologna, that is 5th. So you know everything can happen in Serie A. And then the last question, and we close. What about leaving if he wins the Scudetto? So the question was directly, if you win the Scudetto, would you leave? Is it true, these rumors? He said, I am absolutely not tired. And I didn't do last year the manager, you know, that a lot of us, myself as well, were saying that he was doing a bit of different roles when the management, you know, they left Juve, when they resigned, that he was taking care of speaking about topics that were not even his topics, a bit defending Juve on television or post-game, etc., etc. He said, I didn't do the manager of the field last year. I did my job, my role as a coach. But it's true that a club, to reach result, we need to have a strong management. When the company is structured well, It gives strength to the environment and the team. But in 100 years, we never missed support. Scudetto or not, we are on our journey. We must play Champions League, something that we should have already participated this year because on the field we qualified. And here is actually repeating what I said. So how many times did I tell you? Remember when we were speaking about Mercato, the player? I said I don't care about the player now at the moment. I want first that we are continuing to build that pyramid from the top. With also sport expert, I wanted Giuntoli first. Then from Giuntoli, I wanted a decision on the coach. Allegri or a new one. Whatever you choose, we go for it. But we have to take a decision together. Then from there, we think about the players. Top to bottom. And you see that when you have a strong management, look at the things that we are able to do, which Napoli, unfortunately for them, they are not that much able to do now. Without Giuntoli, without Spalletti, already changing coaches from Rudy Garcia to the other one, Mazzarri. Minus 17 points versus last year. So a lot of things has been said. Actually, the video is much more longer than I thought. I hope you enjoyed that recap and the opinions on it. Maximum of like, don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza, Juve. Ciao.